arguments on the meaning of marriage when it focuses on California's Proposition 8, the state's ban on same-sex unions. Let's bring in our Tuesday gaggle, Democratic consultant with Impact Strategies and former executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus, Angela Rye, from USA Today, Jackie Kucinich, and AEI visiting fellow, Ramesh Ponnuru, who writes for National Review and Bloomberg View. Welcome all. Thank you so much for coming. In terms of this idea of same-sex marriage, it's going to have its day in the Supreme Court today and tomorrow. It's obviously the story of the week. Ramesh, I'll start with you. I mean, have we reached a tipping point now where the Republicans or conservatives risk being on the wrong side of history if they don't sort of get on board? It seems that Democrats are all moving in that direction because they have to be considered serious within their own party. Are Republicans, do you think, going to follow suit? And is this the new reality we live in?
Well, I think that it's clear that the public has been moving rapidly, and particularly young people, towards same-sex marriage. And a lot of conservatives are very nervous about this. Some conservatives, of course, support same-sex marriage themselves. I think what you are likely to see if this trend continues is not that the bulk of Republicans become supporters of same-sex marriage, because most Republicans haven't shifted if you look at the public opinion polls. But instead what you're going to see is quieter opposition, and eventually I think maybe even silent opposition.
Well, and what Reince Priebus actually told Susan Page in an interview in USA Today, it's in our paper today, that they're not going to openly speak out about it. They're going to keep to their principles, to the platform. However, they're going to be more accepting, but not openly supportive.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see, Angela, that Democrats are starting now to really hit the House GOP leadership for being the folks who are bringing this to the Supreme Court, being the defenders of DOMA. It's something that's an effective political wedge issue, you think, for Democrats?
I think it can be, but I also think, going back to the Republicans and whether or not they're going to continue to oppose it, we have a lot of interesting things happening with Senator Portman's tipping point, causing, kind of a rift in the party, so to speak. And then also you have Republicans now saying, well, this could be a cash cow, so we can't afford to be opposed to same-sex marriage anymore.
In terms of African Americans and same-sex marriage, the Bush campaign was very effective in 2004 in getting African Americans to support President Bush on this issue. Prop 8 was brought by a lot of folks in the African American community. Do you think African Americans, a crucial block of Democratic politics, will move on this issue as quickly as the rest of the party?
Well, I think it's no secret that African Americans tend to be a little more socially conservative. So what I do think has happened this year, once again talking about tipping points, you saw the president come out and say, hey, I've evolved on this. And as a result, he's a leader in the African American community and the leader of the free world. A lot of folks are starting to say, well, maybe I need to reconsider my position. Is this really the right thing? Should I focus more on the opposition of this or loving people as Christ loves the church, so to speak?
Indeed. I'd like to turn to sort of the idea within the Democratic Party that even these folks who represent from Mark Warner, right, from the swing state of Virginia, Mark Begich from Alaska, Claire McCaskill from Missouri, which I would even gather 4 years ago, this had been a very difficult stretch for them to support in those types of states. I mean, there's real movement here.
Claire McCaskill wouldn't have done this 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
That is very, very true. Yeah, I mean, I think it is a trend within the Democratic Party to support it, because among base voters especially, among donors especially, this has become something that's accepted. It's going to be a tougher turn for vulnerable Republicans. It's going to be a tougher turn for any Republicans, just because of some of the people that make up the base of their party.
Interesting stuff. We'll be right back with the gaggle, but trivia time. We asked which Princeton athlete is the team's only Rhodes Scholar and only player to earn the NCAA basketball tournament's most outstanding player. The answer, former Senator Bill Bradley. And congratulations to today's winner, Brad Koplinski. Also, I'll give a shout out to ABC News' Rick Klein. Thanks for watching our show, Rick. You got the question right as well. That's some love there from ABC. If you got a political trivia question for us, email us at dailyrundown@msnbc.com. We'll be right back.
Look like a joker,